Do or do not. There is no try.
Hey guys, Marshall here again. uh, I was wearing my Grogu shirt. This is from The Mandalorian, but it reminds me of Yoda, and um, what what a great mentor he was to Luke Skywalker. I remember seeing um, that very clip when I was very young, and it was very eye opening and really strong. Just very simple, very strong. Um, but that brings me to, I think we're going to focus on a sort of social spectrum today, a social paradigm shift, uh, and it actually is very similar to the last video we had, where we talked about creating experience and like strategy and auditing and reference experience. But this one is more socially geared, and it starts with insanity, which I don't mean to be crazy, because I remember whenever I was growing up, I felt like insanity to me means crazy. I mean, it is kind of crazy in a way to do the same things and expect a different result. Um, but it doesn't mean you're like psychotic or anything. But uh, on one end we have insanity, one end we have transformation. You know, what an awesome word, transformation. And so in between there, when we're moving, we're experimenting. Uh, we're experimenting, and that's where we're getting some experiences, some reference experiences, and if you just do the same thing every time, yeah, it's kind of insane to do the same thing and expect different results. And so we need to sort of, uh, maybe a good idea would say to think at that left brain, right brain area, and think about what you can add, to maybe change your result, and experiment with. That's a very creative way to think. How can you engage your right brain to sort of add something new to basically help you get a better result. And this is really going to help you evolve in a way. And we actually talked about this before too. Almost like in social Darwinism, um, in the evolution of animals and everything like that, they basically were getting their own like feedback in a way, and the feedback was whether you survived or not, um, and that was the outcome. Unfortunately, you don't have to worry about that as much, but in social life, you're gonna get a lot of feedback that you know that person really isn't into you, which doesn't really mean that you're dead. You know, so you're not dying. It may feel like you're dying, but you're not. And there's gonna be other ways to try this again and try to experience it again. And somebody really who has impacted me recently, he called it like a puzzle, fitting puzzle pieces together, in his life and in your social life, fitting those puzzle pieces together. There's much more other ways that we could probably add some other things to this spectrum for transformation, um, and we probably will in the future. This is kind of just like a benchmark, where we're starting. I would hope to have some really amazing like graphs in the future to really lay this out for you, because we all get taught in sort of the left brain style of things whenever we grow up, and I'd like to be able to give you guys a graph, and so that you could see the way you can progress and evolve and transform, um, and then also there be some ways, because we have like specific things like experiment and reference experiences, and there's specific ways that we could sort of help describe how you can sort of move past this part of the spectrum, this paradigm shift to evolve, and to be able to look at the reference experience and not be so worried about your feedback. And we talked about this last episode. Your feedback. You should be thinking about the big picture. Basically, in the last video, we talked about that. And in this video, also, the big picture is kind of like transformation. And so this one is more geared towards your social transformation. And one last thing, not one last thing, but there's some other things too. But I wanted to quote somebody. Oh, here we go. I wanted to quote Owen Cook. He's a mentor. He does a lot of videos and stuff like that, and he says, "See your problems as adventures." And so, when we look at this, your reference experience, a lot of that will be, you'll get feedback, and those problems that you see, you can dwell on the problems, but we really need to sort of also kind of transform the way you think about that too. This is also this is very mentality involved too. This is transformation of your mentality, so that you can see these problems as an adventure of your life. And whenever you sort of flip that and look at it in a better way, all of a sudden all of these experiences become a little bit more enjoyable, even whenever it is somewhat of a problem that's kind of holding you back from transforming. But a lot of times your feedback may not even be helpful in your transformation too. You have to be really good at like filtering out the bad feedback that's just kind of situational, like just weird scenario where someone just doesn't have the time to talk to you or whatever it is, and really think about what you can really control, and what you can't control, and just be able to accept that and evolve your mentality to be able to fully transform yourself. And I feel like this one we talked about today could be something you could even like look at this on a daily basis, really, at what sort of reference experience you get. This one is a little bit. This video is a lot less than the real big picture, which we talked about last episode, and more along the lines of just kind of a daily and a weekly thing, and thinking about how you're transforming on a social level, and your ability to convey your thoughts and express, and your ability to go after the things that you want, and stay out of the way of just like smashing your head off of the wall, and just doing the same thing over and over again. Because I've even experienced this in the past, and I've experienced other people that just do the same thing over and over and over again, and they're just not really experimenting to improve. And a lot of times you experiment to improve, and you get bad feedback, and all of a sudden you think, well, I'm back to doing the same thing over and over and over again. I experimented, it didn't work. I'm gonna go back to doing the insane stuff, the dumb stuff, over and over again. And so, uh, that is quite the pickle to end up going sort of forward and then backwards, because we have to really make sure that what the feedback that you get is really realistic to uh, towards whatever the incident is, or is the feedback really makes sense. And I think we actually might, that might be a segue into our next video actually. We might have to revisit the throat chakra and really elaborate on the spectrum of that, and the way that you perceive your feedback that you're getting, so that, well, actually no, that's the I'm sorry, not this throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and that's the perception. And I think we're gonna take all of the chakras in a way. We might bounce around, but we're gonna look at those again, and we're gonna look at how we can gauge the steps towards maximizing and also transforming in each of the chakras. So this is a really good video to sort of set up for that, because we talked about big picture thinking, and and that was more of like a business style of things, and we're talking about transforming on a weekly, monthly basis, and maybe even a yearly basis, in social life. And yeah, I think the next one will focus on perception, so that we can really hit on this idea of like what is happening in this realistic, and what's just kind of nonsense that doesn't really have any effect on you. Because you'll realize a lot as you sort of transform. Also, you'll be able to realize how ridiculous certain feedback is, and you'll be able to realize how you can sort of question it, and even the feedback that other people give you. You could just be like, as simple as why do you think that way? A lot of times people have these this feedback they give you, but it's not really, it doesn't even make sense to themselves. Like they can't even, they'll be like, oh well, I guess it doesn't really make sense. Or they'll just be like fumbling around and make something else up. You know, you've got the sort of competitors that they might say something and give you bad feedback, like nice shirt, what are you, 5 years old? And you ask them, why would you say that? You know how you know roughly how old I am. You know, what are you trying to do? What are you getting at? And then they might also all of a sudden throw another shot at you. I don't know. That's just really, ultimately, that's just what they're doing. That's just the type of person they are. Maybe they're just throwing shots at you or something. You know, you got a lot of people that are just like that. And so you could evaluate that the wrong way and just be like, well, there's something wrong. I need to stop wearing my Grogu shirt. Or you could just be like, or you could just have an amazing point and be like, you have no idea what Grogu's been through. You know, this guy has been the whole intergalactic I'm trying to think of what the bad guys are in Star Wars. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. Whatever it is, all the bad guys are after Grogu, just because he's got the Force within him. They're trying to get rid of the Force. You have no idea what this kid's been through. And if you can do that in a funny and amusing way, then the ball's in their court. And this is a sort of a situational frame control thing. But if you can be funny about it, all of a sudden they're like, they could say something, even they could just be a dick again, and you just be like, why are you being a dick, man? I'm having fun today, you know. I'm vibing. Like, what's your deal, man? Something wrong? Like, or you could just give him a thumbs up if he gives you another response like that. You just don't. You're gonna get bad feedback with people. It doesn't mean that you can just take that as it is, figure out, you can just, if you ask the right questions to him, or if you ask the right questions to yourself, you'll figure out why they're doing things, the human nature behind it, and then all of a sudden something like that doesn't affect your transformation. So be careful with the type of feedback you get, especially when socializing, because you're gonna deal with a lot of people that don't even put in the same amount of work that you do into socializing, and you get these sort of peanut brained people that they just see it, they see competition, and they want to destroy it, like your Grogu, you know. They see this cute kid, for some reason they don't like him. They don't like the force within him. I feel like I kind of like he's one of those characters that I resonate with a lot. So just an awesome. Honestly, if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, I think it's probably one of the better shows out there. There's a lot of garbage out there. I've always liked Star Wars. You know, that's something that I liked whenever I was young. That was, you know, whenever there wasn't sort of like amazing. I don't know. The storylines, I feel like in Star Wars, they're so deep rooted in human nature and everything like that, that they're very good. And what I experience a lot in cinematics right now is just kind of just it seems very, very bad. The storylines are pretty bad, and I can't enjoy the lack of complexity, and just you know, just pushing stuff out there for monetary gains. We're just pushing stuff out there. We're gonna use people's names and things to sell the movie, and it's just pushing garbage out there right now. But that's really beside the point. Just I guess just look to be on that right side of the force, and I'll see you guys next time. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Peace.